I'm going to inform you all about swimming today. I chose this topic because I swam competitively for about 5 years. So I'm going to start off with the basics. What you really have to know are that there are 4 strokes: freestyle, backstroke, breaststroke, and butterfly. I'm going to show you all a short clip of each one and explain the high points of each stroke. Okay, so the main thing with butterfly, it's the hardest stroke in my opinion, but it's one of my favorites. And so instead of doing like a flutter kick like you would in most, your legs are together and you're moving them at the same time. So next is backstroke, I think. Yes. Okay, so backstroke is what it looks like. The most important thing is to make sure you reach as far as you can with each stroke and rotate your body as you're reaching. And that one has just the classic flutter kick. Next is breaststroke. Breaststroke is the hardest stroke in my opinion. Your arms are doing a different motion than your legs, so your arms are doing that and your legs are kicking like that, so not like flutter kick or butterfly. And last is freestyle. So freestyle is basically the most common one that everybody knows. Just like in freestyle, there's a flutter kick, and make sure to reach as far as you can with each stroke and to rotate your body. So I'm going to talk a little bit about competitive swimming and what it's about. So we practice for 2 to 3 hours, 6 days a week, sometimes twice a day, and on top of that there would be meets almost every weekend. Our practices would be anywhere from 4,000 yards to 8,000 yards, depending the day. 4,000 yards is a little bit over 2 miles, just to give you a reference of how far it is. We didn't only swim though, we lifted weights, we ran, and we did dry land. Dry land is basically any exercise that's not in the water. You burn tons of calories, so you gotta eat tons and tons and tons. Michael Phelps eats about 8,000 to 10,000 calories a day. The normal diet is about 2,000 calories, so that just shows you how many calories you burn and how much more you have to eat. At a meet, you need to make sure after you get done warming up, you wear a parka, which is basically a snowsuit. It's just a big giant coat that keeps you warm after you warm up. And make sure you hydrate, because if you're not really hydrated, you'll cramp up during a race, and from experience, that's not very fun. There are sprints, which are 50 to 100 yards, which is 50 is 2 laps and 100 is 4 laps, and long distance is 200 and up. I really liked the 50 sprints. Didn't like the 100s or the 200s, and I also really liked the 1,000, which is 40 laps. Most people don't like that event, but I loved it. Many people don't think that swimming is hard, but it's actually one of the hardest sports because the resistance of water is so much greater than air. It's a lot more physically demanding on your body. Air is 784 times less dense than water, and the faster you move in water, the more drag you create. So when you're racing and sprinting, there's so much drag going against you. And another main thing is you have to hold your breath the whole time. All the other sports you can breathe whenever you want, but in swimming you have to learn how to breathe with each stroke and get the rhythm of when to breathe. There are certain times you're not supposed to breathe when you're swimming, so that's hard to nail down. The techniques for each stroke are really specific, and I've tried to teach it to other people. It's very hard to teach to other people, although I'm not a coach. If you don't have your technique right, it could lead to injuries. Shoulder injuries are the most common thing. So you might be wondering, why I put myself through this much pain just to stay fit? There are many benefits to swimming. It's a full body workout, so you get much more out of it than any other thing. An easy 30-minute swim equals about 45 minutes of the same activity on land. 30-minute swim burns about 200 calories, which is double what you would burn if you were just walking. It's low impact, so less stress on your body. It's even used as therapy for certain injuries. It reduces stress and improves mental health. And my favorite part about it is when you're in the water, you can't tell you're sweating. So you're sweating tons, but you don't even know, and you're not sticky when you get out. So in conclusion, I hope you learned a little bit about swimming and maybe even inspired you to want to go try it out. Thank you.